So as anybody's been with my channel for any length of time, probably, I don't know, maybe a year or two, you'll know that I carry a SR-22. It's a 22 pistol, it's a Ruger. And I've had this, oh gosh, I don't know, since 2010, maybe 2009, I've carried this. There was a few years I didn't carry it when we were traveling because there was a lot of states that didn't allow my conceal and carry, so I took it off for a while, but I've been carrying it ever since we got back to the house. Now a lot of people seem to think that the 22 is a wimpy gun and you shouldn't carry it. You need knockdown power, meaning you need to be able to kill the guy that you're trying to defend yourself against. Well, no, I'm just trying to get the guy to stop hurting me. As a matter of fact, my knockdown power, my first resort, is going to be the pepper spray. I've talked about this quite a bit. The pepper spray is just what I'm going to use. I'm not into the macho thing. I'm not into legalized killings. I'm just not into it. I just want to defend myself. 22, actually, I carried primarily around here while I'm at home, just so I can get rid of critters. We had a rabid raccoon right here. It was the strangest thing. I mean, I've heard of rabies before, but never really experienced it. But I guess he was just down here by this tree, and the cat just got let out, and Carolyn said, "Hey, there's a raccoon up here acting strange." And it wasn't getting scared. It was just really strange. So I came out with this. That's all I had. I didn't have my rifle on me. I mean, it was in the house. I just didn't think to grab it. And I came out and realized it was rabid, and I shot it off from the porch here and hit. I mean, that little 22 is amazingly accurate. And I just unloaded the clip and came back around, and of course he's kicking around and stuff, and I just wanted to make sure he was dead, so I just unloaded the whole clip. And of course I carry extra clips. I really don't want to tear all this apart because I got to put it all back together, but I carry extra clips, not because I think I'm going to be in a long-term gun battle fight with some bad guy out on the street with my little 22. It was because of a rabid raccoon, and I just kept shooting. It was probably a waste of money. I just kept shooting at him until he stopped wiggling. I didn't want the cat and me or Carolyn in danger of this rabid raccoon. That's why I carry it. I guess I ought to give you my history with guns. Growing up with guns, I always thought pistols were just a bad thing. I grew up with rifles and shotguns. I mean, both of my families, both sides of my family, owned shotguns and rifles. My grandpa on my mother's side had a 22 revolver that he hung up on a gun belt of some sort. I remember it pretty distinctively over his bedpost. And it was, of course, you know, being children, you're not supposed to play with guns, but it was just one of those things that they made you feel like it was evil. These guns were evil, and that you're not allowed to touch them. Hey, I'm going to interrupt this video real quick. I'm going to ask if you'll go to the end of this video. It'll be an up next box to my other channel. And today we got a brand new video, and I'd appreciate it if you go check it out. We're going to learn something. I don't remember what the video is, but we're going to learn something, I'm sure. And we're getting really close to having enough watch hours so I can monetize that channel. I'd really appreciate it. The next time I had any experience with a pistol, I went camping with my neighbors, I should say. I was friends with my neighbor, the kid, and his parents went camping. They had this place called Goose Creek. So we went to Goose Creek, we camped. They brought some friends, the parents brought some friends, and one of the friends had a pistol. And the only way I knew anything about the pistol was he pulled it out and showed it to us. We were in the back of his truck. I don't remember why we were in his truck, but we were in the back of his truck. It had a camper on it. And he pulled it out and showed it to us. I mean, we didn't touch it. And I remember thinking, what do I care about that? We're not supposed to have those. Because I really thought they were evil. Not that I'm anti-gun. I mean, I wasn't anti-gun. I had, at a very young age, well, it was borrowed, a 410, and I shot that 410 all the time, and that was the age under 10 years old. So I wasn't anti-gun. I always was kind of made to believe that pistols were a bad thing. And growing up, you're always told about that 38 special, that cop killers, and, you know, just all that stupid stuff. And so I never really paid attention to them. So then, of course, I went in the Navy, and I didn't realize I was breaking the laws and all that. But, I mean, I had a 22 and a 410 that I took everywhere with me. And I went up to Washington. I didn't realize you weren't supposed to do that. I mean, that's how oblivious I was to any of this. I didn't know. I mean, I heard of the Second Amendment in high school, and I remember and this is a teacher I just praised in a video not too long ago. He was going through the Constitution, explaining it to us, and he was talking about the amendments, and he'd go into great detail about the amendments. We got the Second Amendment, you know, like a day long for each amendment, except for the Second Amendment. He read it and said that one's so you can have guns. That's all he said. Got out of the Navy, and my dad had he started buying some pistols. He got divorced, and he thought, you know what, I got some extra money. I'm gonna go out and buy some toys. And that's what it really was. Is he was just going out and target practicing, and killing critters. Actually, I mean, he talked about a groundhog. Was it groundhog, bobcat? I don't remember. And he had this 357 Magnum. And he had 20 acres, and then he lived next to his mom, my grandmother, who had 20 acres. So combined, it was 40 acres. So he was out there, and some critter, I can't remember. Let's just call it a bobcat, I don't know. And so he saw it in the distance, and he grabbed his 357, and he said he pulled it out like Clint Eastwood or John Wayne. He didn't even aim, he just pointed, shoot, and got that guy. Well, I started understanding a little bit more about the Second Amendment at this point. I'm like, okay, so if they're not such bad things. And then he gave me a little bobcat or a tomcat. I can't remember what it was called. It was not the 22. It was the, I don't remember. But anyway, it had a little pop-up barrel. It was a little pistol, pop-up barrel. And that was a neat little gun. I enjoyed it. So he gave that to me, but I had to go to the sheriff's office to get a background check just so I could have it. Well, shortly thereafter, I started reading the NRA magazines, beginning to realize what the Second Amendment was all about and how they were trying to really take away your guns. And I started buying more guns. I bought a couple of 357 Magnum revolvers. I really enjoyed the cowboy gun. So I started really getting into guns. It was kind of a hobby for a while. Now, a couple things happened to me, but in the end, all my guns got burned up in the fire that we had in the camper. So I didn't replace them. The Ruger I just happened to have on me. We were in Florida, and Florida allows you to have Missouri licensed guns, concealed and carry permit. So we were in Florida when that happened. So I did have the pistol on me. So I managed to keep that, but all my other guns got burned up. And I really haven't replaced them other than what has been given to me over the last few years. The thing I started noticing was the ATF. You know, of course, this was back in the 90s when I started getting interested in all these guns, 90s and 2000s arena. And the ATF just burned down David Koresh's compound. I know, they were bad people. They're cult members. That's so they didn't have any constitutional rights because they were cult leaders. David Koresh was a cult leader, so we American citizens had to burn down their compound. Oh no, they burned their own compound down. Wait, that's right. They committed suicide. These cult members, you know, that's just what they do. Well, whatever. There's a lot easier way for the ATF to have handled this, and they have an absolute history of handling it wrong. David Koresh goes out to the grocery store, you pull him over, or you wait until he's in the store, and you surround him and you serve the warrant to him right there. That way, none of the kids and the women were in danger. But I mean, they just recently did it here in just south of us in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. A CEO of some sort of security firm in the airport or something like that, I forget his name, but he was a bigwig. And they wanted to serve a warrant, and they weren't even going to arrest him. They just wanted to confiscate his guns. They gathered at the Walmart parking lot one Saturday and decided, oh, you know what, he's not home. Well, if they don't want to arrest him, they just want his guns, they should have went in that day when he wasn't home. But instead they said, no, we want to wait until he's home. Because, although they didn't actually say this out loud, they wanted to kill him. And that's exactly what they did. So they waited until next Saturday when he was home and gathered at the Walmart parking lot. Then they went over to his house, busted down the door. He comes out because he thinks it's a burglar. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. He's in a bed. He tells the wife to stay in the bedroom. Of course, she didn't listen to him. So he comes out, sees this people with guns, and his reaction, according to the wife, was they were being robbed. So he shoots, and they shoot him back and kill him. That's what they wanted to do. But if they wanted to take his guns, which is what they wanted to do, they should have went that last Saturday. No, they wanted to execute him because they knew the ATF didn't have a legal right to take those guns. And the ATF, I'm sure you all heard the horror stories. I mean, for example, let's see, some sort of trigger operated thing. They were found that they could not, through the Supreme Court, could not take those away anymore or something like that. And just recently, they started taking them away again, even though they were ordered not to. They don't care. The ATF is just a rogue organization. I mean, it's called alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, but the only thing they focus on is firearms. I mean, people drink, people smoke. I don't see people getting arrested and shot over that. Nope, just over guns. I mean, that's what David Koresh, people keep saying that's why the ATF went after him, was because he was a cult leader. Well, first of all, it's not illegal to be a cult leader in this country. What they wanted to do was arrest him for illegal firearms. Firearms shouldn't be illegal. That's just my thinking. But anyway, yeah, how can it be illegal to be a cult member? But I don't know. People just don't seem to make sense. I mean, the cults are going to say they're a religion, so you're just defining who they are, not them. So, and religion is under the First Amendment. So it doesn't matter. You as an individual is either violating his First Amendment right or Second Amendment right by going after him for any of those things. I've never had a really good feeling about the ATF, and I've been talking these last few videos about, and the government's always trying to take things away from you. It seems like that's their only purpose anymore, is to take your freedoms away. Take money away, take your freedoms away, and scold you all the time about how terrible of an individual you are. Constantly making new laws, trying to get you in jail somehow or another, so they can control you. So, of course, I've been talking about Trump and how he's been, well, mostly Doge and Elon Musk. And the more money the government can give back to us, reducing our taxes and all that stuff, I've talked about in several videos, the more free we are. The smaller the government, the more free we are. So recently, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. There's this guy named Kash Patel, and he was a big controversial guy. Nobody wanted him in the FBI, but he was just confirmed to the FBI this past week. And I really think he's going to do a good job. I mean, I think he is absolutely going to reorganize the FBI so they're actually a crime-fighting organization instead of a political machine. And that's what it's been turned into. When you got the FBI letting terrorists go, but then going after Catholics because they stood outside an abortion clinic or something, or you're arresting parents because they voiced their opinion at a teacher's conference because their daughter was sexually assaulted in the bathroom by a transgender. That's not a crime-fighting organization anymore. That's a political machine. And yes, these things happen. I know the trolls are going to say, that never happened. But yeah, just stop watching CNN. The ATF administrator, the leader of the ATF, was just fired. They fired her. And of course, oh no, crimes are going to go through the roof now. Nobody's out there to control gun violence. Well, nobody was out there controlling gun violence before. You go to the inner cities and that's where all the gun violence is. It's not the white guy who owns a SR-22. So there's nobody to run the ATF now. But what they're going to do, the Kash Patel I just told you about, they're going to put him in there temporarily for a year or two. And of course, they're not going to disband the ATF because Congress has approved the ATF. You can't, unless Congress reverses that decision, you can't You can't just shut it down. But what he can do, and this is what he's going to do, at least this is my understanding, is he is going to completely gut it. Just tear it apart. And it will take decades for them to be able to get it back to the way it is now, where it's a terrorist organization is what it is now. So, and that is a huge step. Just get rid of everything. Just tear it apart. The ATF interprets laws. That's what their job was supposed to be, is interpret laws made by Congress and enforce those laws. But they're making interpretations that don't even come close. You know, when they're saying that a 22 semi-automatic looks like a assault rifle and needs to be banned because that's what the law says, there's nothing about it in the law that says ATF. Automatic weapons is illegal, okay. But a 22 Ruger rifle, semi-automatic rifle, is not an automatic rifle. I think every American has held, at least probably over the age of 40, has held a 22 before. I mean, 22 bullets just show up all over the house if you ever think about it. The other day, Carolyn was sweeping the floor on her side of the house, and she said, "How did this get over here?" I don't know. So, but this is good news. With Kash Patel going to gut it. I'm really happy. You know, Trump said we're going to get tired of the wins. Well, I haven't gotten tired of them yet. I'm pretty excited. So if you click this up next box, it's going to take you to a video on my other channel. I really would appreciate it if you'd watch those videos over there. Today we're going to have a brand new video. I'm not sure what it is, but we're going to learn something. I can guarantee it. So if I can inspire you, just stick with it. Sing live your dreams. Thanks for watching.